Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How's everyone? Okay, today's video I wanted to do like a story time video about like this psycho ex-boyfriend I had at one point in my life. I was really young, so I was probably like 16. I wanted to like start dating. I ended up at someone's house. Like I knew a friend who knew someone who lived there or something, so we go over there. It's just a bunch of people hanging out. It was really weird. Like there was this really manly girl there who was like picking a fight with like some other guy. They got physical. Me and my cousin were there and we're just like, I think it's time to go. So there was two guys me and my cousin met there, one of them being the psycho. And so we left with them, and then they were like, oh, do you guys like want to go on a double date with us? And we're like, yeah, sure, like why not? So I always thought his friend was cuter, not really him, but he like immediately took like interest in me. And my cousin didn't think anyone was hot. She was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna go just to go. We hung out with them, we went to dinner, and I was like basically talking to like his friend the entire time during our dinner, and you can see that he was like visibly getting frustrated. At this point we weren't even like dating. I don't even consider him an ex-boyfriend, to be honest, at this point, but because we dated for like not even a week, but whatever. He was getting visibly upset, and he goes up to his friend. He's like, can you please stop talking to my girlfriend? And his friend's like, okay, like I didn't even know you guys were dating. I thought this is like a group fun thing, but whatever. And he was like, had to be next to me the whole time. He was just like sitting next to me. It was like really weird too. Like we went to like a pizza place, and he was like, can I cut your pizza up for you? Do you want me to feed you your pizza? And I'm like, no. Like that should have been like red flags, but I thought he was really nice, and like I was obviously like trying to find a boyfriend or whatever. Okay, we were leaving. He was gonna drop us off, and he's like, well, do you want to be my girlfriend? And I was like, sure. So yeah, and I still thought his friend was hot, not him, and I was hoping his friend would take interest in me, but he never said anything. So I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, we'll just see what happens. So like we would go hang out. Like I think in that course of a week we hung out like twice. So that date, and then we hung out again after that, and like I played water polo at my high school, and like I would even tell him when my games were or what time my practices were, but he would show up and he would be right there, and I'd be like, how'd you know what I was doing? And then like he would call me and be like, how is it? Like I'd be doing something like folding laundry or something, and he'd be like, how's the like laundry folding? Like, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, are you stalking me? So I was starting to get a little freaked out, but I kept brushing it off. Like he's just, maybe I said something and I totally forgot. And he was starting to get more possessive. Take this was like 3 days after like a group date. He was getting more possessive. Like he would be like, who are you talking to on the phone? Who are you texting? And I'm like, why do you care? And I had like a really big attitude problem, so I'd like talk back and be like, why the fuck do you care? And all this stuff. Well, one day I needed a ride from like, because my water polo team had like pasta nights where we would like, someone would host it, and like the person hosting it lived all the way in Los Alamos, and I didn't have a car, I didn't drive, I got a ride there. I needed a ride home, so I called him and I was like, can I get a ride home? He was like, yeah, where are you at? I was like, Los Alamos. He's like, okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And I'm like, wait, you live in Orchid? It's like at least a 15-minute drive, not 5. And he literally shows up to the place. Like he just hung up, so I like was like, okay, does he even, I guess he's gonna call me when he gets here because he doesn't have the address. And he calls me like 4 minutes later, like 3-4 minutes, not even the 5 minutes, and he's like, I'm outside. And I was like, what? So I was like, that's really fucking weird. Like, that's when I started getting like a little bit like, maybe this like guy is like not for me. And I go outside, get in his car, and he's like just staring at me. He just stares. He would just like stare at me, like uncomfortably stare. Like it wasn't like a, oh, like sincere stare. No, it was like a creepy, just staring, like obsessive stare. And I was just always be like, what are you staring at? And he'd be like, you're so beautiful. And I'd be like, oh, thank you, blah, 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 whatever. So we're going home and he was driving me to my house, and he like is like reaches out to hold my hand, and I'm like a little creeped out at this point, so I didn't really want to like hold his hand. So I was like, oh, I hurt my hand like during practice, like it really hurts right now. And he just grabs it anyways, and he's like, you're gonna hold my hand. And I was like, okay. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna get home. When I get home, I'm just gonna break up with him like once he leaves, because I was really immature, like not like confrontational. So I just like got home. And then also when he dropped me off at my house, he literally forced kissed me. Like I did not want to kiss him, and he literally like force kissed me, and I was just like not even wanting to. So then he drops me off, he leaves, and then I text them, and I was like, hey, like I don't think this is gonna work out between us. Not even 2 seconds after texting him, he calls me, and like he was legit crying over the phone. He's like, what? And mind you, he was way older than me too, and he was just like, well, why isn't it gonna work out? Meh, 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 meh. Like crying over the phone. And he's like, I love you. And I was like, you know, we've been dating for like not even a week. Like, how do you love me? And I was just like, you know, it's just not gonna work out. I'm sorry. And then I actually reached out to his friend, the one I thought was hot, and I was like, is this like weird of like him to act like this? Like, is this how he is? And he's like, honestly, like we're not even that good of friends. Like we like hang out and stuff, but we're not like, I don't really know him. So I was like, what the fuck? This is so weird. So me and him were talking like about that, and then me and him just started talking more, but I still had him like on the side, like saying how much he loved me and stuff. And then one day he like calls me, and I'm like, hello. And he like stays quiet, and I was like, I know it's you. And then he was like, you know what, if like you can't be with me, you're not gonna be with anybody else. And then hangs up. And I was like, I called the other guy immediately, and I was like, oh my god, like your friend just freaking told me this. Like, what is that supposed to mean? He's like, I'll take care of it, I'll handle it for you, I'll handle it for you. So I don't know what he did, but me and this friend started like dating, and he was like so upset that we started dating, and he was just like would keep calling me, and he was like getting obsessive. And he would be like, I miss you, please come back to me. And I'm like, we weren't even like dating for that long. And he would like still show up at my school. Like I would see him like at a grocery store, like he would be there. And like he'd even live where I live, so I thought it was really awkward. Finally, I went with a couple of friends to that guy's house, and I confronted him about it, and I was like, why'd you call me and say that if I couldn't be with you, like no one else is gonna be with me? And he's like, I never said that. And I was like, yes you did. And I literally yelled at him, and then like my friend yelled at him too, and so did that other guy that I was like now dating. And he's like, I never said that. And I was like, yes you did, and blah blah blah. And then I guess after that he did something, and he like ended up in jail, and then he like never contacted me again, and to this day I haven't heard of him. I don't know what he's up to, but it was just really fucking creepy. So that's it for today. I hope you had fun listening to my little story time of my psycho possessive ex-boyfriend who stalked me. Yeah,